the chat right now.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, all right, we are recording, so I found the record button.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, there's definitely been requests of people that couldn't make it tonight that definitely want to watch it.
Oh, that's good.
We have the Best I Spy YouTube channel. Got lots of great stuff on there.
I definitely on it. I was like, oh my gosh, it's up! Like that's so exciting.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend checking out like some of our other workshops that we've held. Like our HR for Full Circle does like human resources workshops, and she's just a genius. I mean, she has an awesome just the science of dealing with people. It's such a practical thing.
Yeah.
All right, well, Tabitha, I'll just read you one thing that's in the chat right now.
Welcome, LaShonda.
Tips to spruce up marketing writing, social media, blogs, emails, focusing on storytelling and helping, not selling.
That's great. Hi, LaShonda. Welcome back.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
I'll put mine in here too. I laughed. I was outlining my newsletter for next week and went, ooh, I can have them look at last month's
Oh, that's awesome. Yes, we would love to do that.
Oh, of course, we're prioritizing our friends here, but if we have time.
Absolutely.
Which reminds me, I put some like in our tools and resources that we're going to talk about later. I have like I put all kinds of stuff in there, but I'm going to randomly remember things during this. I just know. So,
LaShonda, do you mind just throwing your name in the chat and just like something you might hope to game tonight and maybe how you heard? Well, you were here last time, so I know how you heard about it. But if you have any specific goals.
Sure, absolutely.
yay. It's always a nice feeling when like somebody actually read the newsletter.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I know there's definitely a lot you do where you're just kind of like, I wonder, like just creating content. You're just kind of like, I wonder how people are actually going to read this. And that's okay.
Yep.
Cultivating the garden.
Christy's one of your big fans, apparently.
All right. Well, if you two want to go ahead and share your screen, and I'll just do some brief introductions here, if I can use words, use my words. All right. Well, everybody, welcome to Next Level Copywriting with Jennifer Martin and Tabitha Messmore, our gracious hosts. Jennifer Martin is a faculty member in the Department of Teacher Education at UIS. And she's been supporting starters at Innovate Springfield since UIS and Innovate Springfield first became one back in 2008. I guess it was 18. Tabitha Messmore is an assistant director at LaunchNET at Kent State in Ohio, and that's a business incubator. So we've got a lot in common with her. I am the business incubation program coordinator, office manager, and I Spy TV VJ, Trisha Schlobaum. I just made that up. We don't really have I Spy TV, but we do now. And then also joining us from Innovate Springfield is Hillary Rains, our social innovation program director. And I think if there's anything else I need to throw in here right now, well, Tabitha and Jen are going to help you craft the right message for your business and make your website or any other marketing content a pleasure to peruse and digest. And hopefully you brought some samples along with you tonight so we can take a look at them and help you move forward in your marketing journey. And we'll be monitoring the chat, and so be ready to engage and have a good time, and just feel free to interrupt, as Tabitha and Jen said at the last session. All right.
Thank you, Trisha, and thank you, everybody. We're really glad that you're here, and we're excited to work together to create awesomeness.
Yes. Yay. Cool. So you're back again. Christy, were you here last time? I'm sorry, I didn't recall. So.
No, I didn't sign up for the first session.
Well, welcome. You get the first welcome, and everyone gets a welcome back. So we'll catch you up. Don't worry, we have a little review. So.
Yes, and again, please interrupt if you have any questions or if anything that we are saying doesn't make sense.
Yes, this is.
Put it in the chat.
Very informal.
Shout out,
so.
yes.
So as you can see from our part deux, we could have, had to do a little silliness there. So, so just a quick little overview of what we're going to talk about. Just some quick introductions again. For those of you that were here last time, maybe a key takeaway that stuck with you. Going to go over a quick review of a couple things that we talked about last time. And then most of the time we want to spend looking at your stuff. Look at some things that you have. You can get some feedback from everybody, and then some work time to actually sit and do some stuff right now, because I know it's always hard moments to work on little things. So while you've got some helpful eyes and brains, and then we have some tools that we can recommend, as well as your guys' recommendations, things that might help make life a little easier. And then we wanted to finish up with a little bit of goal setting too. So.
Okay, so we know some of you already, but maybe other people don't. So just tell us again who you are, and if you were here last time, a key takeaway that you have. If you were not, maybe something that you hope to gain tonight, or what types of writing are you interested in working on, or do you need to work on? So I'm just going to call on folks if that's okay. Christy.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christy Brocardo, and I've been in marketing and communications for over 20 years. I spent over 20 years at a state trade association. And then I also worked at UIS and managed their website for a few years. And I worked at Springfield Clinic and managed their website and communications for 7 years. But I just started with a company a few months ago that is international. It's out of Ecuador and Miami. It's called Color Republic, and we sell flowers all across the country. So when you walk into a grocery store and you pick up a bundle of flowers, they were grown in Ecuador and shipped over through Miami and dispersed throughout the country, and that's what my company does. So I'm in a new marketing department that they developed because the company has grown a lot in 20 years. So I'm doing social media. I'm starting an email marketing list for their 2 branches, and I'm trying to get subscribers for that. And I want to start blogging because there's so much that we need to do with keywords that we need to get out there so that it's keyword searchable and not just on a social channel, but something that people can find if they're searching for a gift idea or a meaning of a rose, or, something like that to help promote the products. So that's the type of writing that I'm doing, as well as maintaining their website, which is very, very antiquated. So I'm trying to get it up to speed.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. And I'm sure that you will, with your vast expertise, be able to provide our participants with some great feedback as well. So feel free to
what's
chime
really
in.
Funny is I started out in graphic design, and I taught graphic design classes at UIS, and moved into writing because everything that we create visually, now we, are writing and doing it together.
Yep.
So I wanted to be a writer when I was a kid, but I was a trained graphic designer, and now I'm putting the 2 things together.
That's exciting.
Yes, very much so. Thank you. LaShonda.
Well, good evening, everyone. I am LaShonda Fitch. I am the 20th director at Oak Ridge Cemetery here in Springfield, Illinois. This is the largest municipal-owned cemetery in the state. We have over 400 acres, and my role is to promote awareness of not just our history, but our products and services, and the importance of pre-planning for your end of life and final arrangements. My takeaways from last week, I had 2 that really stood out to me. One was give your audience white space to rest their eyes. And also to remember that the audience do not know what you know. So you need to break it down and kind of simplify things for them to their language and or terms.
A+, LaShonda.
Yes, yay.
Thank you. Welcome again. Welcome back. Danielle.
Hello. Can everyone hear me? I'm on driving, so sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Be careful.
I will, thank you. My name is Danielle Hartman. By day, I am a corporate trainer, and my side hustle, hopefully someday full-time gig, will be working as a coach for young professionals who are seeking to change careers, grow in their careers, just need some additional support in their careers. From the last session, I learned a lot about even the website design, like LaShonda was saying, like the white space and making sure like your message is clear as to what you do, but then speaking the language as well. I realized that I'm not going to be hip with the language that my target audience is going to be using. So I really need to keep that in mind as I continue to develop my business over the next several years.
Okay, that is a great insight, Danielle. Just being able to recognize that you need to know the language of your target audience. So yes, we will look out for that if we can tonight. Thank you. And I see Kazim. Welcome.
Howdy, folks. How are we doing today?
Great. Welcome back.
Thank you. So I think we're doing introductions.
Yes.
So Kazim Abbott, founder of the Academic Consulting Agency. We're an organization that provides superior math tutoring and college prep services, and now branching out into speaking because we've helped a lot of students thrive and get job offers before graduation, stuff like that. So trying to get into the speaking space for many reasons. And a key takeaway for me, or in case I didn't say this, I'm from St. Lucia, beautiful island in the Caribbean. When you're planning your next vacation, you should go there. And the key takeaway from the last time, so it was really thinking, and I was trying to get the right words for this. People say treat people how you like to be treated, but really we should treat them how they want to be treated, right? So really realizing that I could put things out there that my audience might not get it. So I have to think, what will they get? What will resonate for them? I think that was the biggest key takeaway from last call for me.
That's awesome. Excellent. Thank you. And thank you again for being brave last time and sharing your website. Fun. That was very helpful to us. Now let me ask you this. Have you made any edits since?
Good question. I have not.
Oh,
I have not. But I did document it. So here's the fun part. I lost my authentication thingy to get into my own website. But my mentee who does most of my edits, he has access to it. So I just need to tell him to, hey, make these changes. So we'll get it done. But yeah, I did document it.
Okay, great. And please share it with us when that's done, because we'd just like to see it. We're interested.
Yeah.
Awesome. I will do that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I think that's everybody, Tabitha.
Awesome. So just a quick little review. We're not going to go over everything we did last time, but I figured we'd just hit the high points that we talked about the beginning, a couple things to, excuse me, look out for. I know a lot of us, especially small businesses, we feel like we should be using the royal we when we talk about our business, even if it's just me, right? And I think a lot of times that can backfire because we feel like we have to have kind of this formal style to be like seen as legit. But really, you know, if someone is shopping and giving you money with a small business, they want that personal touch. They want to know that you're a real person, right? If I want something kind of generic and without a face, I'm going to go to Target. But if I want to buy something handmade, I'm going to go to an actual person, right? So obviously, you know, making sure you're using your network and your friends to help you avoid any typos, grammatical boo-boos that, you know, are hard for us to see in our own writing. So another set of eyes is always good. I love that everyone talked about white space. We talked about that last time, which is great, making sure that, you know, we have places for our eyes to rest, not going crazy on fonts and colors, and being really careful with your photos, because the last thing you need is, you know, a crazy cease and desist letter from like, I and I can't remember the name of them now, it just went out of my head, the photo people, and because it has happened, you know, if you just take something down off Google, you don't know where it actually came from. So there's lots of ways to get photos that won't get you in trouble. And then changing tenses seems to be a big one just in general that I see a lot. So we kind of pulled that one out specifically as well.
And just remember authenticity.
Yes.
Be you. And in order to communicate the best sense of yourself, feedback and assistance is always helpful. So that's why we're here.
I mean, professional writers use editors for a reason.
Yes.
And as an editor, I'm very glad they do. But so, you know, like we said, authenticity. If it's just you and your business, like, you know, we were talking about coaching, you're the coach, you're doing all the things, you're wearing all the hats. Say that on your website. Talk about you and your journey and how did you get to this place? Because we love stories. We're humans. We love stories. We want to know about that. That's a great way to pull people in to work with you, right? Show your process. If you are someone who makes things, you know, some behind the scenes stuff is really interesting to a lot of people. You know, that we don't normally get to see, right? I'm thinking, LaShonda, of you could, I mean, there are obviously some parts of what you do you don't want to show, but I feel like there are some pieces that would be kind of interesting to say, you know, hey, this is what happens before you get here, you know, testimonials, and then talking to your customers so that you can figure out what the words are that they use when they describe the problem that you're solving, so that you can use those words because that resonates with them then. So when they come to your website, if they're looking at your social media, they're like, oh, this person knows exactly what I'm struggling with because they're saying it exactly the same way I would say it. So I definitely want to work with them, right?
Tabitha, really quick, if you don't mind, I'd like to interject. I just had an idea that we didn't talk about, but it just occurred to me. And I don't know if this would be beneficial for any of our participants tonight, but in my work, I do focus groups a lot for research, but they can be used for business as well in marketing.
Oh, yeah.
So and how to incentivize such a thing, food always works. I know we're, you know, COVID, but we're all almost post-COVID, fingers crossed. So you could maybe have a little appetizer, maybe some wine, invite some people, get maybe 10 people around a table and just ask them what they want, ask them what they need. And then you can kind of get a sense for who your audience is, what they want and need.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly when, you know, we were talking about that idea of if you're not part of your target audience, that's a great way to get those words, you know, to feel like you're connecting with them, doing a focus group, doing some, you know, just even it doesn't have to be as formal as that too. You can do that, but you can do kind of informal, you know, walk around campus and talk to some students.
Yeah, that's a great idea too. There is a university in Springfield. Actually, and there's a community college too.
Lots of opportunities.
Yes.
And then of course, just a personable conversational tone, you know, it kind of goes back, we're kind of coming full circle and talking about that formal we that we feel like we're tempted to use, but really, you know, we just want to talk to each other. We want to hear our stories, right? I feel like those stories, especially if you, LaShonda, that just made me think of you too. Stories of, you know, people coming in, especially because I feel like you are dealing with people at such a rough time, usually if they're not like in that pre-planning stage, you know, of coming in and such a hard time to say, you know, here's the story of someone who was so glad that their parents pre-planned because it saved so much agony and decision making at a time where you don't want to make decisions, right? So I think things like that would be super useful for you.
A quick question on the story part, because that's something I'm trying to do more of. And so LinkedIn, I think, is the platform I've really kind of decided that's my platform kind of that whole speaking side of things, especially.
That makes sense.
And would you recommend a blend of video and written posts when it comes to sharing that story?
For sure.
Okay.
Especially because yeah, go ahead, Jen.
I'm sorry, Tabitha.
No, it's okay. We're probably about to say the same thing. So
well, I mean, you're going to hit more types of learners and thinkers if you mix your media. So some people like to read things, or maybe they're somewhere where they can't access sound, so they need to read it. But then some people like to watch videos and they don't like to read so much. Mm-hmm. So I think you're just going to hit a wider audience if you vary it.
Yeah. And, as a speaker, to be able to see how you hold yourself, how you speak, what your style of speaking is, I think that's super useful too.
Agreed.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. So, how should we do this? Do we have a volunteer to go first?
LaShonda's raising her hand.
Okay.
Look at that.
Now, LaShonda, do you have a document, or do you have a link, or what do you have?
I thought I had a document. Let me see if I can get it pulled up. What happened here? It's actually a brochure. And it's one we had. It is very busy, so I will say that. As I stated, one of my takeaways was white space. Don't know if I implemented that in this one.
Okay.
But let me see, how can I share a PDF? Or not a PDF, something's in Publisher. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think you'll need to, unless you can share your screen. Trisha, do you have the capability to make LaShonda a co-host so that she can share her screen? That might be easiest. But you can share files in the chat, but it'll need to be a PDF if you do it that way.
Yeah, let me see if I could switch it. I thought I saved it as a PDF, but for some reason, all right, let me try it. Here I am trying to be the first one, and
well, LaShonda, why don't you be the second one while you work on that? We'll go ahead and pick on Danielle maybe, because I think she put a link in the chat. Yeah, right, Danielle?
I did.
Awesome.
I did.
Okay, and mine is ready to go afterwards. So.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to share. Danielle, I've got your stuff up.
Okay.
So we can all see.
So Danielle, do you want to give us a little bit of backstory on this?
Sure. So just kind of like the whole website overall, or like concepts. Yeah. Okay.
Audience. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So this is, my desire is to do career coaching for young professionals between the ages of like 30 and 45. So those professionals who have been in their career for, 5 to 10 years and are kind of questioning, okay, maybe I went to school for this, but it's really not something I think I like or enjoy anymore. Or, I really think I'm great, but I haven't been able to advance the way I want to. Maybe I need to do my own personal development and I'm not certain how to do that. Or maybe you're just feeling stuck and you just want to get unstuck or not feel burnt out. That's the audience that I kind of want to work with, who are having those feelings, or maybe they're just excited about their career. So I tried to think about, if you're a career professional, the term that I keep coming up with is like full potential. Like I want to work to my full potential. I want to be my full potential at work. So I tried to incorporate that here in the name of the company. But full potential was not quite enough. When I was doing like research out there, you would see full potential, which could be like life coaching or some like yoga things. So I wanted to more clearly define what full potential meant for me. And so I really wanted to focus on your career full potential. Mm-hmm. So I tried to make like a bursting image, right? Like you're bursting into your potential.
I love it.
Danielle, before you go on, should we kind of break this down piece by piece? Do you all want to talk about the logo and give some feedback?
Yeah. I love it's got so much energy. It's so happy.
I like the color combination.
Thank you.
I like it. Go ahead.
Does it feel like too feminine? That's like something I want to make sure like I'm attractive to like both men and women. So that's something I'm trying to like balance here.
I think that is a great insight. Mm-hmm. Perhaps if you have some photos of all genders on your website, that could hit it, because I do think it's very attractive. Mm-hmm. I am a woman though. So, I mean, what do you think, Tabitha?
The other piece of that I would say is, you know, one thing we talk about, especially in kind of startup land, is thinking of that you really do want to find your niche, and you've defined them pretty well, I think. And I don't think it's a bad thing. If it does kind of come off a little feminine, I think that's still going to attract people. I don't think it's putting people off. I don't think it's like a guy would click on this and go, oh yeah, no, that's not me. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But so, you know, don't feel like you have to be everything to everybody.
Good point.
So
that's
the other
helpful.
thing is
Thank you.
You want it to reflect kind of, especially in this kind of personal service business, you want it to reflect some of your personality too, because this gives me an idea of what I'm going to get when I work with you.
These are excellent points, Tabitha. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone, do any of the participants have, I like what Hillary says, don't feel like you have to be everything to everybody. Absolutely. Do any participants have any thought on the logo before we move on?
I can give you some design feedback.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have a designer.
Please do. Yes.
I would definitely not use two different shades of green and the yellow. So I would, it looks to me like there's two shades of green in the logo. And yellow. So I would narrow that down to just a shade of green and the yellow.
I like the darker one personally.
Yeah.
I like the lighter one.
I would go with the darker one just because the yellow is really light. So you want that contrast. And another thing with type, especially as it gets bigger, look at the gaps in between the letters and tighten it up where you can, because it'll make it look a lot more polished and professional.
Okay.
So for example, like look at the space in between the P and the O, especially with decorative type. When things start to get gappy, they look less refined and less polished. And that's not the impression you want for your company, of course. So if you can just tighten up the spacing in between some of the letters where you see the really large gaps. Also, when you use all caps, that becomes an issue too, because you don't have any ascenders or descenders. So look at the space between like the O and the A in coaching. So when you have a circle next to a line, sometimes it creates these bigger gaps in space. So maybe just, you know, tighten that up just a little bit.
Thank you. That's helpful.
All good things.
You were for sure a graphic designer.
Yep.
Thank you.
Just to be married to a graphic designer. So I'm like, oh, I'm having flashbacks.
Okay. Anybody else have any thoughts or feedback? Okay. Should we move on? Tell us what you'd like to like us to look at next.
Sorry, I was writing at the same time. So here, like what I started out with is, you know, really what I want you, like almost the first thing that you read when you're on the website is like, this is what I want to offer for you. Like, so if you are this person, or this person, I'm the person for you.
I love that grammatically you focused on you, not this is what I'm going to do, but who are you? That's what's good.
I'm going to just run out on the limb right here. And if you disagree with me, Christy, I want you to chime in. I don't like the underlining at the top.
Okay. Tell me more about that.
I'm going to say the same thing.
Okay. I don't know. I just
underlines
think maybe
on the website mean that it's a link. So you never want to put an underline on something if it doesn't link to something else. And it also just makes it harder to read because it breaks through those descenders. And so the brain has more trouble processing the letters and the words. So you really only want to underline if it does link to some new content. So instead you would maybe want to bold it or make it all caps or something else to set it off, but not an underline.
I was going to suggest bold as well. Yeah. Maybe a little bigger font size too.
Okay.
And then my other thought on the bullets is you have one verb to begin each bullet, except for the last one. So can you make that into one word instead of be supported? Can you sort of recraft that a little bit just for consistency's sake?
Agreed. And you don't need the periods at the end of each of them.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, take those out.
Man, this is like so
You're
helpful.
getting the detailed work.
It's good. So can I just go back to the one question though?
Yeah.
So instead of, underlining, bold it or do all caps. So in this spot, is it okay to do all caps? Like in the logos really where you should be more cognizant of that versus like in the body of like your website or even your message?
I am going to, and I'm going to defer to Christy, but I don't like all caps because it's not as accessible a font for people who have vision problems to read. So maybe I would bold it and make it a little bigger.
Yeah, I keep bolding and making it a little bigger. All caps is good if it's a very short phrase.
Okay.
So your phrase is probably short enough or just at the borderline. It's harder for a brain to process all caps because the words all look like rectangles instead of ascenders and descenders, which helps the brain figure out what the words are faster. But I do like the idea of bolding and or making it a little bit larger or making it a color instead of your body copy color, making it a different color like all your subheads. Maybe in your green color than your logo.
Oh, that's really good.
To see that
I like it
in your subheads.
I like it a lot. Tabitha, what do you think?
Yeah, all of those things. Because remember, on a website, we're scanning. I'm not reading. I want to get it quick. I want to like figure out what's going on this page.
And this might be really picky, Danielle, but
Go ahead.
hi, nice to meet you. The font doesn't look dark black. It looks like it's light black.
Gray, yeah.
So could we make, I don't know, is it easier to read, Christy, when it's dark black?
Yeah, I mean, a gray is sometimes a little softer on the eye than black, but a dark gray. There's an accessibility checker that I can look and see if I can find the URL, but anytime I'm doing text on a screen in a color, I run the foreground color and the background color through an accessibility checker to make sure there's enough contrast. Yeah. And so this shade of gray is probably borderline on not having enough contrast.
Yeah, I would go just a step darker.
Christy, that's an amazing share if you can find that, or everybody. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, I'll look at the URL while we're.
Thank you. So for folks who may not know or have heard about this, it's just about being accessible in the sense of being the most visually friendly to people who have vision issues. So if they're reading something on a screen reader, it's easier for them, if that makes sense. Tabitha,
you don't want to cut out a potential customer because they can't read your website.
Right.
Bottom line.
Oh, it looks like Christy found it. So grab that from the chat, people. And I recommend this for everybody. Okay.
Yeah.
So also, I said last time, if you were here last time, I don't love an exclamation point, but that is a personal thing. So I wouldn't do hello exclamation point, but that's me. Tabitha, what do you think?
I can go back and forth on it. I don't have strong feelings one way or the other.
Okay. Ignore me. Okay. Anything else on this intro?
One thing, and Chrissy, tell me if because I don't have any design training. It's just kind of have been picked up here and there over the years, but I really feel like your image, I love your picture, Danielle. I want it to be closer in. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to see so much of the background. I want to see more of your face. Like,
Danielle, I know exactly where you're standing because I used to live around the block from there, by the way.
Okay. I love that door. I thought it was so pretty.
I know.
It's so cool.
So Danielle, is your last, now just don't move anything, Tabitha, but
okay.
Danielle, is your last name somewhere on this page? If not, should it be? Okay. Is there a reason why it's not? And don't answer yet. It could be an anonymity thing that you want to maintain, which I understand, but if not, think about maybe, and Christy, you can weigh in on this, please. Would it be prudent to put your full name under the picture? Yes or no?
It would definitely be good for scanning, you know, if someone's just scanning, because your eye's going to be drawn to the picture before you start to read the text. So, you know, you definitely would see a bold caption underneath the picture before you'd see it in the content.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you. So think about that, Danielle, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. What else do you want us to look at?
I have one quick thing, because as I'm reading this paragraph here, and I'm thinking about, and I think even when you were telling us, you said this, like, young professionals, you've used that phrase, but then when you actually pulled out ages, I don't think that's not what I think of when I think of young professional.
So what do you think
young professional is someone in their 20s.
Oh.
Because if you think of, like, most, like, young professionals, like, organizations are under 35.
And you know what, too? If I'm a young person, I would want to see an age range maybe, because I'm like, is this for me or not? I don't know. Right?
So you might even say, you know, just kind of working on how your description of who you want to work with, of, like, I feel like that's almost mid-career, kind of who you were talking about. Like, they've got some career stuff under their belt, and they're going, okay, well, now where do I go? Like, they're in that transition.
Or would the phrase career changer be something you could
something
add?
like that? Yeah.
Something to think about.
Okay.
I think the reason, like, that I feel that young professional rings, like, under 40, and this is just my experience, having, like, been in two different, like, young professional organizations, the age out was 40.
Oh, okay. I just know the one in my town is 35. Mostly personally, because I was, like, 39, and I was like, I feel like I have stuff in common with them. I mean, not in my life, but in my career I do. Like, I was in that point of being, like, late 30s, early 40s, going, okay, I gotta figure out what I want to do with my life now.
Yeah.
I feel like we get overlooked at that age. Not that age anymore.
Mid-career professional. Is that something I heard here?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't love that either. It's not it's kind of flat, but I don't know.
I'll do some research.
Yeah. Talk to some people in that age range and see how they define themselves.
Okay. What else would you like us to look at?
I mean, there's a little bit more at the bottom. So the services, so the three things that we offer here. So we talk about action planning, coaching, and then accountability between coaching sessions.
Okay. I'm going to tell you right now that
bigger.
I was going to say the same thing.
You've got a lot of white space, so you've got room to make that big.
Yep.
And I would make these different
colors,
different icons. Like, one could be one
different color. I like a different color, maybe. I don't know. And a different logo for sure.
Use your logo colors.
Yeah, brand colors. I think brand colors would be great for this part. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can keep that color line going. Yeah.
I wonder how this looks on mobile. Like, when you look at it on a phone, does the text.
Thank you for saying that. Cause that's, like, when I was thinking about the people that I would be reaching out to, I was designing it more for a mobile phone. Like, how will people really be looking at this?
If you make your screen really small, does it reflow to show you what it would look like on mobile? Like, if you drag the side to make your screen smaller?
Sorry, I got to move stuff around to make that happen. You can check that. No. Oh, no.
Make it really skinny.
Yeah, no. So you need to check into that, Danielle.
It is mobile compatible because I have opened it on my phone.
Okay. It's not reflowing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's, good feedback for those things.
One more thing on here, your contact me, that should be a link. That should link down to your contact form. And
Great
then it would
feedback.
be underlined.
Well, listen, Danielle, we are going to move on to LaShonda now, if that's okay. And if you, as you're thinking and listening to the other feedback, type something in the chat if you have any more questions. Okay.
Yeah. But I think this was a great start. Thank you for volunteering, Danielle. This was great.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for the push from your last session.
Yes. Good job.
Hey guys,
LaShonda, you ready?
I just pulled up her website on the phone, and the 3 icons actually come in like a vertical format.
They do?
So
okay, good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Here is our busy brochure. We want to give as much information as we can.
We might need a screenshot of that, LaShonda, for our next workshops. Here's
what not to do.
And we'll get one after for you.
All right. So this is the page I really want to start with. We were trying to figure out how to condense. So if someone comes in and they're like, okay, we don't know where to start. So what I've tried to do is simplify it in 4 steps, kind of give you, I'm a visual person. So it's like, okay, what does that look like? So we were thinking of outlining as far as what those steps are here in this upper left-hand corner, and then going and breaking them out, providing images. So if you're thinking of an inside location, this is what our cremation niches look like inside of our memorial chapel. Wanted to highlight what those prices would be, what it include. So kind of like a one-stop shop guide to let you know what all is involved in the process.
Okay, I have some thoughts and I have some questions before I give you those thoughts. Okay. So first of all, so this is a PDF. Is this going to be printed and given to people? Is it going to be hung up somewhere? Is it going on a website? What's the plan?
This is printed and given out to people.
Okay. And I know that cost is a thing with printing. I feel like, don't get mad at me, LaShonda. I feel like if I can't look at this, it's too much, and it's too much, making my brain explode. So I would suggest maybe you could, and Tabitha and Christy too, please weigh in. I would say, can you make it a booklet? So step 1, just on 1 page. Step 2 on 1 page. Step 3 on 1 page. Because I can't process all this. I want the steps, but I want them separate. What do you think, Tabitha?
I agree. So
now, I do want to weigh in really quick. This is a folded brochure. So when you look at it, page 1, you're only going to see one side.
So this is the inside.
Correct.
So this part you see like this though, if this is the inside, right?
No, but it's folded. Let me see if I got a copy for you. Okay, so here it is. If you guys can see my screen. And then you would open up and some people might do this, some people might do this, but it's ideally to say, okay, 1 step at a time. This is where you're at.
Tabitha, can you unshare the screen so we can see LaShonda bigger? Because I want to see that piece of paper.
LaShonda shared.
So what I need to do?
Can you unshare your screen really quick so we can see? I want to see the paper more up close if I can.
Okay, so this is how it's folded.
Okay.
And then you would have it like this. And then you would open up to kind of get you through. And then you end off with the full page.
Okay. I feel like it is better, yes. I feel like can you reshare now so we can talk about the font size and colors? Thank you very much.
Oh, absolutely. And this was already pre-created prior to LaShonda, but we were adding some of it to it, and listening to some of the feedback last week. I was just curious on what can we omit, because we do have it in a booklet, but that was a little too much as far as from a cost perspective.
Right.
Well, I'm wondering, and Christy, I'd like for you to weigh in too later if you don't mind, but maybe you could minimize cost by doing a grayscale brochure and making it a booklet. maybe burial planning in 4 steps, step 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe that's somewhere else. And then it's just step 1 and 2 on this page. However, the font styles and sizing is inconsistent. And even it looks like some titles are bolded and some are not. So I would just use one font. And I don't love this one. Do you know what it is?
You said this one. I'm sorry.
Is the font style, is it Calibri or?
I'm not sure what.
Okay.
If it's gonna tell me what it is, but no.
And I feel like publisher could be really hard to work with, but and you know what? You might find a better tool to work with tonight. Maybe Tabitha can recommend Canva. Do you think Canva would be a better platform to recreate this brochure?
Canva's awesome for that. And they have templates for like so you'd have the sizing all set and everything too. So I've made similar pamphlets in Canva too.
Hey, what if
and that'll help you keep your fonts consistent and the sizing, so you're not kind of all over the place. The other thing you might think about, and I know price is always a thing that people are thinking about, even taking the prices and maybe having them on a separate sheet. One, that helps because you don't have to reprint these if you change your prices.
Good one. That's excellent.
So if your pricing sheet is a separate sheet, that you have that's just black and white, so you can kind of go, okay, pick these, pick your things from 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we'll look at the pricing sheet and see what that adds up to. And then it's like, oh, if that's too much, then we'll go back and change one of the things. But that will also take a lot of that space. That'll give you some more space.
I love that idea, Tabitha. I'm sorry.
Yes, so thank you. And we do. So I guess I need to take a step back and let you all know that we do have various tools and resources. We were trying to have a one-stop shop guide here. And you had stated, I think it was Jennifer had stated that step 1 should be on one page. Well, step 1 is really choosing your disposition. So it's really not much into step 1 outside of that. So I don't know if I do step 1 and 2 together. Do I not put the images in there? I guess that's the feedback of what should I remove outside of the pricing to kind of say, okay, if you only have 5 minutes and you want something to take away that is compact, not a booklet or a folder or something like that, what can we give them? What should we provide them?
Well, I'm going to propose this. We are going to have a little bit of work time tonight. And I am going to suggest that you go into Canva and create an account and pull up a template that you like and play around with your first page. And then
I have Canva as an account. Is this under their brochures or what exactly am I looking at? I'm
sure there's a brochure template. I'd have to look at it and tell you for sure what it's.
Because you mentioned booklet as well. So I wasn't too sure on if there was a difference between the two.
I think brochure would be what to look for in Canva. But we'll figure it out tonight. And hopefully if you have time to kind of play around with it, you can show us what it looks like too.
Okay, cool.
And that'll be helpful, like as you're doing it too, Yeah.
And you know what, LaShonda, we're happy. As I volunteer Tabitha for more stuff, we're happy to look at something after tonight. You know what I mean? If you want extra, like if you want us to look at it and give you feedback, we're happy to do that.
Work on it for a week and then you're like, okay, this is kind of what I ended up with. What do you think? We can give you some more feedback.
We welcome it. We welcome it.
Thanks.
So do you have anything else you want to show us?
I can take myself off mute. I do have something a little bit modified, so that way I think I do. Let me see if I can get it pulled up. Okay. It looks like it did not. Well, you know what? I am on my computer. Okay. Sorry, I was on the Wi-Fi. Let's try this one. This one might be just as busy for you. Network issue. Okay.
Natural to try and want to cram as much information into a space as possible.
Yeah. And that was the initial goal as far as thinking about it. But then it was like, but wait a minute. Nope, I don't have anything. I do have something else to share, but it's going to take me a while to get it pulled up as my network is spotty right now. So.
Okay, cool. Just let us know when you're ready. Okay.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. Christy, do you have something for us?
Yeah, I can share a couple things. Let's see. Am I able to share my screen, I think? Let's see.
You will be, I think.
Yeah.
We're going to get Trish on that.
Okay. So you can see my screen now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to show you a few different things and just tell you kind of what my dilemma is.
Yeah.
Okay, so I manage our main company materials, which is Color Republic. And I haven't had an opportunity to rewrite this at all, but I feel like it's too much about us and not the customer problem, which is what you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of saying we do this and we do that and we believe this, I think I need to rewrite it.
Yeah.
To, tell what problems we're solving by, providing flowers and helping you enjoy these special moments in your life.
Yeah. Christy, may I interrupt and just tell you something right off the bat? In the second line, you have, I love you, close quote, comma, put the comma inside, make a note inside. Yeah. Because you see where your period is inside? That's correct. So you have two commas that are in the wrong place.
Yes, well, and I have not worked on this at all. This was all handed to me. So I need to go back and rewrite everything and fix everything.
Yeah. So I think you're probably that's not even going to be a thing for you, Christy, because as you're saying, you're going to rewrite this with a focus.
Yeah.
A different focus, which I think is right.
But one thing I want to do, and maybe it's something I can work on when we have our work time, is I'm working on the back end to make a blog. Mm-hmm. Because I want to have like fresh content on the website, and I want to have keyword searchable content. So if people are searching for like, well, what color of roses should I get, for a friend versus my wife, or,
educational content is great.
Yeah. So I want to work on things that are like keyworded. But another challenge I have is that I also manage this site for the company, which is a partnership we have with Country Living Magazine. Oh. Mm-hmm. And we're the only provider of Country Living flowers.
Oh.
So I had to write this one, and I did write this one. I had to write it totally in Country Living's tone, which if any of you have read Country Living Magazine or get their emails, it's very different.
Very particular, yeah.
And they have like, I don't know, 7 million followers. So their tone is like really important. Mm-hmm. So I wrote this one trying to be in that tone, but then I have to go back and forth because I also do social media for both. Mm. So for Color Republic, if you can see my screen now, I'm writing content like everyday posts in the tone of Color Republic, but then I also have to write posts for Country Living Flowers and create ads for those. So it's hard for me to jump back and forth.
Go back and forth. Yeah.
Places.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that would be crazy. Are you able to, and this is not even a writing thing, this is more of like a planning thing. Like, are you able to set yourself up to map out the work that you're doing, especially in social, for each one? So like one day I'm in Country Living mode, and then on Monday I'm in Country Living mode, and Tuesday I'm in Color Republic mode. And
that's a really good thing that I should try to do, because right now I am more like mapping out, okay, now I'm going to spend a few hours on social media, and then now I'm going to spend a couple hours on the website, and now I'm going to spend a couple hours on trying to write a blog post, but they're not broken.
You're having to switch gears mentally so much. Yeah. And then that way, one day you're like, okay, this day I'm going to do, whatever, I'm going to do some social posts for this week. I'm going to write a blog, or at least, get started on the blog post for Country Living, so that I'm like kind of living in Country Living mode today, like dress accordingly. I don't know.
And maybe I could like do social and blog and email for Country Living on the same day, because once I start writing, say, a blog post, then I'm like, oh, this would be a really great social media post.
Exactly. And that way you're reusing all of that content too. So you're not having to write 3 separate things. It's all the same it's all the same stuff. It's in the same voice.
Yeah.
That way. Yeah.
I think that's a good point.
Purpose.
I really like that idea, Tabitha. And I would think that orienting yourself by maybe day would save you a lot of time, because it must take a lot of brain power to switch gears, and you can focus more on your creativity and your work.
Yeah, I think that's good.
But I want to be cognizant of the time. So it's almost 6 o'clock. So we have 30 minutes. Do you want to pick out one thing for us to sort of give you feedback on? Sorry.
But yeah, if you saw anything you want to give feedback on, that would be great. But I think helping me just to plan and separate these out.
Well, I had a thought. So, and I know you didn't write this. So but in looking at that, it talks about Color Republic's mission. And I wondered if they in fact had a mission statement. If it would be a good idea to maybe put the mission statement here on one side and then have more of a customer oriented feature here.
Yeah, that's exactly one of my biggest things that I'm working on is I'm trying to put some team members together to work on a content marketing mission statement first, because I want us to have good goals already defined so that when someone comes to us and says, hey, can you put this on the website? Or, hey, can you write a blog post about this? Or, hey, why don't you post this on social media? We already have guidelines to say, does this meet the content marketing goals? And if the answer is yes, then yes, we'll put that on our to-do list. And if the answer is no, then we have a reason that we can say, we really can't focus on that right now.
Right.
Because I'm finding that I'm very overwhelmed with time because everybody wants me to be doing everything. And I'm really the only person who's doing this.
Right.
But part of that content marketing mission meeting that I'm trying to set up is also to write more defined mission statement, like a long form and a short form.
Mm-hmm.
And then also one for B2B and one for B2C.
That was actually going to be my question, Christy, because the way when you described the business at first, I was like, oh, so they're B2B. But then I'm like looking at like the content and a lot of the stuff is like, it feels B2C. And I was like, so
that's why they hired me, because B2C is brand new. We never had the country living licensing agreement, and we didn't sell direct to consumers until they hired me.
Okay.
So
it's only through the country living that they sell direct to customers?
No, we also sell, rose bouquets and floral bouquets on Amazon and Sam's now, Sam's.com and Amazon.com. So that's all new in my e-commerce department that I was hired to work in, but I'm the only one who does the marketing. So my
segue really quick. So I had to ask Tabitha what B2B and B2C meant.
Yes.
I am a professor. I am not a business person. So does everybody know what that is? Can you explain that?
Yep,
business.
I do.
Business to business is we're selling it to the stores. So when you go into Whole Foods, or you go into Trader Joe's, or you go into Target here in town and you see the flowers in the store, we sold those to the store, not to the end customer. So business to business.
Got it.
Then
Thank you.
Business to consumer means I went online and I ordered flowers for my mom for her birthday, and they went straight, I bought it from you, and they went straight to the customer.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yes, that's the other challenge, is not only do I have two voices, but I have two completely separate customer types.
Oh my gosh.
Right. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Christy, you are so brave.
But they didn't tell me all this when they hired me.
But now that you've told me this, I think I need more money.
Yeah, this was all kind of new. After they hired me, the person who hired me went from being the marketing director to being the e-commerce director, because they decided to go into e-commerce.
Oh goodness.
So that was not part of my interview process or hiring. And then after I started, it was like, oh, hey.
By the way.
But it's challenging and fun, and I'm learning a lot. So
good. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And let us know if you have additional questions during and after the work time. I think we have one more share. LaShonda, did you have yours? And then I think Hillary has a share too.
No, I'll wait. I'll let somebody else go.
Okay. Hillary, do you want to share yours really quick? Oh, Kazim, you got one?
Yeah, Kazim.
Just that one's a little different. It's a LinkedIn profile summary thingy.
Perfect. That's good. We have something a little different. That'll be good.
I guess I could go after, is it Hillary? Or
Hillary said
Hillary's suggesting that you go first.
Okay, all right, I'll go ahead. All right, sharing now. Okay, can you see my screen? Should be coming up any second now. All right, perfect. Okay, so again, kind of it's funny, the whole B2B, B2C thing came up because I kind of have that same thing, the B2B and B2C thing going on, but I'm trying to focus more on the speaking, which is B2B. So that's the one I tried to have a picture of me speaking, and guess what? It's at Innovate Springfield.
Oh, great.
Can you do, Kazim, I'm sorry, can you do and I can't see it on your screen, but I know that there's a way to like view your profile as another person. I don't remember what it's called.
I got you.
I think it might be under your me, like your profile picture up at the top right.
View profile. Yeah, view profile.
Yeah, there you go.
Did that not work?
One second. I think I'm there now.
Oh, okay.
So this is the profile view, I believe.
But that's your view. So sometimes there's a way to see it as
someone else,
you know, so we don't have to, see all your background stuff.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So, okay. So I was going to say is, this is the part. So I guess again, for a speaker, kind of, the picture, I try to get a background that's of me speaking.
Love it. Mm-hmm.
And then, so this is the part I did try to go the first person, like you guys said in our last, so yeah, let's give you guys a second just to see if anything feels rough or.
Can you make it a little bit bigger?
Yeah, I think I could just do this. All right, does that help?
Awesome.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
So are those actually links? They don't look like they're hyperlinks down at the bottom there.
You know what? I don't think LinkedIn lets you link it in this section.
In that section, yeah.
In that section, yes. Which kind of sucks.
I would say, Kazim, just right off the bat, your very first sentence, I don't think you need.
You don't think I need the first sentence?
No, because I think, because you've got motivational speaker, I would put change agent up in your title, like up in your thing, and then just start with, I help people change. Like, I would start with that.
Okay, just put another thing here. There we go. Okay, so you said to take off your
very first sentence.
First sentence, okay.
And actually, instead of even saying I help people change, you could put your change agent there. Like, I'm a change agent. I can't even say that too many times.
And remember, maybe have consistency with the bio that's on the website and this one, because I think we talked about last time the Warren Buffett of people.
So you know what? I did add a little explanation based on,
Got it. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Okay, so here's one thing. So if we remove the first sentence, you said just get into I help people change, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got it documented. Anything else you guys think?
I don't know that you need your St. Lucia sentence.
Okay.
I love that you're from St. Lucia, but I don't think you need it here.
Got it. All right.
Oh, so your third paragraph as a ProSci, I don't know how to say that, certified IT professional, ProSci at Archer's Daniel Midland. That's actually grammatically, it's a dangling modifier.
Oh, really?
So you are describing yourself. So as a ProSci certified IT professional at ADM, I am blah, 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 blah. You need an I right there because you're describing yourself. If you want to keep that sentence structure.
Yep.
Oh, so you could even say, I facilitate innovation and change in the global technology division.
Got it.
Good catches, Tabitha. I agree.
Some people pay me good money for this.
And I mean, and do you want to refresh and show us this edit before we move on? Because we do need to move on real quick.
Oh, yeah, I captured it in notes, so I'll just go ahead and put it in. So yeah, once we're done, we're good.
Yeah.
Or you could put it in the chat if you want us to look at it again. All right, Hillary, we have like 3 minutes if you want to share.
This is why Jennifer's in charge of the time, because we'd be here all night.
All right, she's got a link, Tabitha, in the chat.
Got a link, or I can share my screen. Here, I'll just go ahead and share.
Actually, yeah, why don't you share it? Because that'll be easier.
Okay.
Not watching me do it.
Also, make it bigger.
Yes, please.
And tell us what this is, Hillary, if you would.
Yeah.
So this is not going to get bigger. It's not going to get bigger. Interesting.
Oh, that's
Try
not good.
Control and plus on your keyboard.
There it goes. Okay.
There we go.
I usually can only do that accidentally. I can never do it on purpose.
So this is my monthly newsletter. This is the one that went out in May. As the program director for social innovation, kind of the goals are to communicate kind of news, new research, and content to our network of social innovators working in various fields, looking at improving outcomes for children from birth to career, basically. So we kind of start off with our logo and a graphic here.
That's given to you. We're going to skip over that because you probably can't do anything about that anyway. So.
Oh, I made that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we made this in Canva. The logo, of course, is immutable, but everything else is just me.
Okay, go back to the green box, please. Is there too much text in this box? I'm asking Tabitha. I'm asking Christy.
I would say, especially because it's blue text over a green box, that compounded with the number of words that are in it make it hard to digest.
Okay.
It's making me not want to read it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's easy to skip over.
Yeah, you look at it like a graphic, not like you want to read the words.
Yeah. I mean, maybe like half or even less than that number of words is what my eyes would like. My eyes are not happy. Don't be mad at me, Hillary.
Of course not. No, we're pretty locked into these 3 colors. And so I've been
that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe if the words were a little bit bigger and less of them. It would be
I was like, maybe take the arrows out of the box. That will give you some more room for the words.
Nice.
Like I get that that's part of your logo. So I understand. I feel the impetus. I feel where that comes from.
Yeah. No, like I say, we're just making it up. So I'm free to do whatever. And I usually change this graphic up for every month. So these are great.
Cool. All right, let's scroll down and see what else we can see.
Okay, we've got our kind of introduction and links here to what you can expect. So those are anchor links so that people can go down and choose what they like. Events, and of course we have these bright headers that serve our anchors. Events, social innovation news that link to our partners.
One thing I would say, Hillary, and this is coming from a fellow newsletter creator, so I would drop some images in here.
Okay.
Like that's really what it needs, because that'll break up the text and like draw your eye to like, oh, that that's an interesting thing. I want to check what that is.
Yeah.
Because with text, it's just easy to just kind of scan it and not really read it and go,
yep.
Yep.
Yeah. And down here near the bottom, I of course use more graphics, but that's a great point for up top here.
Mm-hmm.
We do our Sangamon Success recommendation spotlight. It's hard because the branding for Sangamon Success is so different from the I Spy branding. It's got this kind of gray beige and the maroon. So kind of working with that as best I can. So we've got the spotlight, some text, and then our partner news. I definitely include, these are all linked to their websites, those sorts of things. More news with our partners, Building Board Diversity, Lincoln Land, and some of them didn't have, any kind of visual.
Right.
But then at the end, we have I Spy Engage. So these are our content links. So it's kind of linking to either new research or articles or books or something like that with a little
I love
blurb.
that. I love that. Now that could be, I don't know if this is possible with picture sharing, but videos, TED Talks, pictures of the books that you are.
Okay, more images.
And people. Pictures of people are always good too.
And what if you have like a picture of you holding the book that you're reading?
Nice.
I want to see you all. I want to see you and Sarah. You know,
people doing stuff.
More selfies.
It's hard right now because we're all online. Like I've struggled with that. Like usually we would have pictures from an event or
like what if we screenshot? What if you go back to the title slide of our thing, Tabitha, and you screenshot and you can see everybody's faces too on the side. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that.
Exactly.
Okay, now we got to move on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you're totally fine.
Okay,
Hillary,
so
hit me up on email. I want to let's talk newsletters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tabitha, can you reshare, please?
Yes. Let me find it again. Okay, here we go.
Thank you.
We did that. Yay.
Okay. So now is going to be the time for you to think about doing some fixes, reflecting on what you learned, maybe jotting some notes down. We are going to do a little bit of goal setting and sharing as well. So if you, and we have a couple more slides on
tools,
some tech tools. Yeah. So, and we only have about 15 minutes left. So Tabitha, what do you think? Should we invite our participants to do some work and reflecting as we breeze through the slides?
Yeah. I think that's good. And I feel like probably as we were talking through things, it sounded like everybody was jotting some things down. So, and I have a PDF of our thing. Trisha, please don't let me forget to send it to you so you can send that out and share it with everyone. That way you have all of these. I didn't make them all links, but I can. So social media, we talked about Canva. And I know last time we talked a little bit about schedulers. So there's a few different ones that are out right now. One called Buffer, there's Hootsuite. A couple other ones that I was looking at, one is called Social Pilot and Sprout Social. So each one kind of has a different focus. So I would say go and check them out, play with them, see, figure out what you want to get out of it. The other thing is Facebook, now that they own Instagram, they have a business suite that you can schedule posts for Facebook and Instagram through them. So if those are your like primary social media outlets, you might not need an extra scheduler. So that's something to think.
And let me just share, Tabitha, that Christy has shared in the chat that she loves using Later for scheduling.
Oh yeah, Later. I've used Later for Instagram too, yeah.
And she also uses Facebook's Creator Studio in the business suite.
Cool. Yay. Email, like newsletters. Looks like Hillary, you guys were using MailChimp. And it's so funny, I was making this and I didn't even put the one that we use on there, which is a relatively new one. It's a startup called GoodBits, GoodBits. I really like that one because you can drop in links and it will pull a lot of the information and the images from different websites. So especially good if you're sharing things like events or other resources that are online. Constant Contact, of course. There's a couple other ones that are less known called Sendinblue, SendFox, and MailerLite. Take a look at those. I'm thinking especially of Hillary, you know, when you're starting out and want something kind of low cost that's, you know, easy to just start using really quickly. Take a look at those as well.
Tabitha, do you know if all of these have a cost? I know most of them do, but are any free?
They will. A lot of them will have a free version or at least a free trial. So you can kind of go in and play with it for a while and see, you know, what you like. MailChimp has most of them are like free to a certain limit, but then they'll have their own branding on it, you know, things like that. So
yeah, Christy has shared that MailChimp is free for lower subscription numbers.
Yeah.
So thank you
up
for
to
sharing.
a certain amount of subscribers. And I know Sendinblue and SendFox, and I think MailerLite too, are similar in that it's just that it's a different threshold. So with MailChimp, it's a certain number of people on your mailing list. With one of them, it's a certain number of emails. So depending on what you have particularly, you know, check out a couple different ones and see what makes sense for you. Same with the website ones. These are kind of, I feel like, some of the big four for easy website building. Hillary,
what do you think about Google Sites?
I think Google Sites is very limiting, which, I mean, you know, it's going to look a certain way versus the templates in these kinds of, in these four are a lot more modern and flexible. So, and again, a lot of them have free versions. A lot of them do the same kinds of things. It's a lot of times just comes down to user interface. Like, what do you like? Like, you know, I really like one thing, but I hate, you know, like Wix. For some reason, the interface just drives me insane. I don't know why. Like,
okay.
So sometimes it's just a personal decision.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I know some people had mentioned blogging when we talked last time, so I wanted to throw in a couple options. Medium is a big one right now. If you don't have blogging like within the website builder that you use, if you wanted to do something that's kind of separate, but you could link, Medium. LinkedIn is doing more and more in kind of this blogging and newsletter space, so definitely check it out. I love that Kazim was talking about using LinkedIn, so I think there's some new tools there that could be really helpful for you. Ghost is a relatively new one that a lot of the bloggers I see are talking about lately. Hub Pages is another one that I found. I haven't used these two myself, so I can't give you any specifics, but things to check out. E-commerce, Shopify obviously is the big one, Big Cartel. Zara is another one. Etsy, obviously a lot of people use Etsy. Facebook also has their shops feature that you can use just through Facebook now too. So all of the things I would say when you're talking about using a platform that you don't own, so like putting things on LinkedIn, putting things on Facebook, putting things on Instagram, the thing you want to really keep in mind when you're using those platforms is that's their island and they can change the rules anytime they want. And they can say, guess what? We're going to change the rules and no one's going to see your content anymore. And you don't have any control over that. So, you know, having your own email list especially is really important, because then you have that list and you can take that list wherever you need to take it. You're not locked into, oh my gosh, Facebook changed their algorithm and now no one's seeing my posts. I can't talk to the people I would normally talk to. So getting them onto your island, whether it's your website, whether it's your blog, whether your email newsletter, all of those things, that is kind of long-term what you want to be able to do.
Okay. Thank you. I just want to, that was a really great point. 9 minutes, Tabitha.
Cool. So just quickly, some other useful things. Zapier, if you haven't used it, it's an automation tool. So you can like have things do, you know, if someone signs up for the newsletter, this will automatically send them a coupon or something, right? Google Suite, obviously, you know, you can do, you know, you've got your branded email, you've got all of those tools. Zoho is another one that has very similar to Google. It's got a lot of tools in it and they're actually relatively inexpensive. So I would check them out. I threw Skillshare in here just because it's an underappreciated way of kind of marketing to people who want to learn things. So sharing things that you know how to do, building, you know, courses, you know, Hillary, I'm thinking of you, and Kazim especially, you know, thinking of what can you be teaching people. Hover is one of my favorite domain name registrars. It's a little personal thing because they have free privacy domain name registration, so it doesn't get shared, your name doesn't get shared out onto all the lists like GoDaddy does. They're not trying to upsell you with other stuff all the time, and they're, you know, they run some good sales. You can get like a domain name for, you know, $10 a year. So that's just one of my little plug for Hover because I like them. And
that's great advice, Tabitha.
Their support is really good. I've used their support before, so
thank you. That's
just a personal recommendation. Anybody have any? I feel like probably people were sharing in the chat.
Yes. And I've shouted out when they have, if you, in the interest of time, because we have like 7 minutes, please put your recommendations and your resources in the chat for the other participants to see. Mm-hmm. And so setting goals for your writing, just take a quick minute if you haven't already done so and talk about what your why is. And maybe do one of these. Mm-hmm. or screenshot.
I kind of thought of it like, yeah, and we'll send this out, screenshot it. I kind of thought of it like a funnel almost, like talking about kind of what's your big purpose, what's your why, what's your goal, and then like that long-term goal, like where do I want to be, what do I want to do with this big thing, and then breaking that down into like, okay, what does that mean I need to do in the next couple weeks?
Yep. And then some short-term goals to get you toward your purpose. So maybe just choose one, whatever is speaking to you right now, and take 90 seconds and write it down. And then we're going to share, and then we're going to say goodbye and send you on your way to do some writing. So we're going to do 90 seconds right now. Okay, Thanks, everybody. So Tabitha, can you go to the next slide, please? Oh, thank you, Kazim, for posting in the chat. So we're just going to do a quick share. If you could just really quickly say one thing. And LaShonda, I'm sorry we didn't get to looking at your Canva if you had a chance to look at that, but please do email us and we're happy to help. So I am going to just call on people. Danielle, quickly, take it away.
So my long-term goal is to turn my coaching into a book.
Ooh, I love it. Let us know if you need editors, Danielle. Thank you.
Will do. Thanks.
LaShonda.
I guess I really didn't. I was in a different space right now, but from a long-term goal, I guess it is to promote the awareness of pre-planning and the importance of it, I guess, and to simplify the mediums that we're using, that we're promoting them through. And also, I guess, tell stories more, become a better storyteller.
That's excellent. Thank you. Christy.
Well, my biggest goal is I'm going to make this content marketing mission planning happen because it keeps getting bumped off my calendar because I have things that have to be done now, but I need to get that planning session done because we really need to refine our mission statement and have a long form and a short form version of it. And then I'm going to rewrite that homepage content.
I love that. That's excellent. Thank you. And best of luck to you.
Thanks.
Hillary, do you want to share?
Oh, sure. I suppose we're working on connecting people to Innovate Springfield, but also with one another and to inform them about all the new things that are coming out in our realm.
Excellent. Thank you. And Kazim, just give us one.
Oh, maybe he's not there.
Maybe he went away. Okay. So,
oh, there he is.
Did you want to share? Give us one, Kazim. Oh, you're muted.
You're muted. Nope.
We can't hear you. Oh, he typed it in the chat. Securing my first paid speaking engagement for 2021. Yay, good goal.
We're holding that for you.
So in closing, here is our contact information. Feel free to touch base with us with little questions, with big questions. If you want us to look at anything, we're happy to do that. Tabitha, do you want to say anything to close?
Thank you all for being such great participants and sharing your stuff and helping each other out. I love that we've created this little space these couple of weeks. And yeah, definitely reach out. We're happy to help. You have a little bit bigger of a network now. You've got some people to help. So
excellent way to put it.
What you're doing.
Yeah. And we had a backup plan in case people didn't do their homework, but this was much better than our backup plan. So thank you for doing your homework. It was really fun. And we appreciate you sharing your work and your writing and yourselves with us. So we appreciate you. And we're here for you.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone, to Jen and to Tabitha, our participants. And this has just been fantastic. And I look forward to more.
Thank you so much, Trish.
And
pass it on to Sarah to invite us to do this. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Have a wonderful long weekend, everybody. Hopefully it's long for you. Yeah. Enjoy it, whatever happens.
Bye-bye.
Take care. All right.